What's up, everybody? It's your boy Big Steve back at it again, and today I'll be talking to you guys about why you guys should play Necromancer on Project Diablo 2. So let's dive in. Now, ever since I played classic Diablo 2 LOD, I always liked the Necromancer. I always liked summon builds, but you could play the build, but end game it didn't even compare to the other builds, like a Hammered In or a Lightning Source with Infinity. It didn't even compare. I even recently tried that build on D2R, and it was pretty well wasted time, right? So, Project Diablo 2 has changed a lot of classes and specs, so you can almost pick any build you want, and it will work and be viable for endgame, and you can enjoy playing that class you wanted to play. So Necromancer was always my favorite. I'm gonna show you guys how good the summon Necro is in Project Diablo 2. And we're gonna go over some items and stats and whatnot, and then I'm gonna show you guys some gameplay. So let's go check out the skills. So for I went a full Skelly build. We didn't touch Revive at all. I'm after trying that out. It works well too, but I think it works better when you just go with a skeleton build. So I maxed Ray Skeleton Warrior, then the Mastery, Mages, Archers, and then I put a point down into Blood Golem. Blood Golem's a little different on Project Diablo 2. Not only does it steal health for you, it also causes open wounds, which is great. And my leftover points, I did put in the Golem Mastery because this allows you to summon more golems, more than one. It's up to 5 is maximum. And I didn't have to put a point into Blood Warp because I'm using Trangle's armor, which actually gives a point into Blood Warp. So you don't need to worry about that. And for Poison and Bone, I put 1 point into Bone Armor, just for when you are blood warping, you won't get one shot by enemies. And 1 point into Desecrate, that way you can easily summon your Skellies. Because Desecrate leaves corpses on the ground in Project Diablo 2, so it makes it a lot easier. And for curses, we went with 1 into Amplified Damage and 1 into Curse Mastery. Alright, so I'll show you guys the item setup. Okay, I'll start with the gloves. Went with Grave Palms for the 1 to summoning skills. Also in Project Diablo 2, you can also slam items, so you can see how these gloves have 10 FCR. So works a lot like you do in PoE. You have a chance of getting an extra stat on an item, and certain items can have certain stats. It's something else you might want to look into yourself, but you can also brick the item, which means losing the item. So that's a risk if you're willing to take. That's totally up to you, but I'm gonna quickly go over what I have here. And for the ring, I went with Wisp Projector for Heart of the Wolverine, so it buffs my minions. And the belt, Arachnid's Mesh for the +1 to skills. And I went with a BK for more HP. Yeah, you could use an SOJ or another BK as long as it has +1 skills. For the boots, I went with Marowaks for the +2 to Skeleton Mastery, and the CBF, which is great. And for the shield, I went with Kalan's Legacy for the Vigor Aura. Also got a +1 slam on this, so it's a really nice shield. For the armor, like I said, I went Trangle's armor. It also has a +1 slam on it. And as you can see, it has 1 to Blood Warp, so that's actually very helpful. Saves you a point. For the weapon, we went with Armed King Leorix. Also got a +1 slam on that. The other stats didn't roll that great, but still it's a +1, so it's pretty strong. We also have the Shaco. Also got a +1 slam on that as well. And a +4 Summon Amulet. And Also in Project Diablo 2, mercenaries have different effects. I'm using an Act 3 mercenary, and he actually has the prayer effect, which causes health regen. That's why I went with him, because Blood Warp costs life to warp. And so we're going to be doing a lot of that. So between your Blood Golems and your Act 3 mercenary, you should be getting your health back pretty quick. Now, I went with Beast. You do need at least a level 9 fanaticism, I do believe, for the increased attack speed for your minions and stuff. And I went with a Teamite for the Moid Aura, another buff for your minions. Everything else don't really matter. And I'll show you guys some gameplay, show you how strong the Summon Necro is. It can do all the content. You don't have to worry about immunes, anything like that. It does not matter. That's why I love it so much. You'll never be stuck in a jam, and it can actually clear maps in anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes, and there's tier 3 maps. So I'm gonna show you guys some gameplay. I'll do a Chaos Sanctuary and maybe a map. So let's see what happens. Alright, let's go. See how I'm using Blood Warp and losing my life down in the left corner? And if I just sit still for a minute, my health regen, and that's just from the Act 3 mark. Once you're in combat, your golems will also be stealing life for you. And I only usually cast amplified damage if I'm in a bit of a pickle or if it's a strong enemy. It's totally up to you how you want to play, but as you can see, it completely destroys. Very strong build. I would recommend it to anybody trying out Project Diablo 2 and enjoy summoning classes. And as long as you keep your bow and armor up, you should be okay. I wouldn't worry about it. Not afraid to tally up on him. Pretty strong character overall. I'm also using a +2 any charm, and I have the Necro Torch, and I do have 9 summon GCs as well. I'm also going to be starting out with Necromancer in Diablo 4. That's coming out pretty soon, so I'm pretty psyched for that. I'm not sure if I'm going to go summon yet. I do want to go summon, but the blood talents, they look pretty exciting. And a different style of gameplay for Necromancer. I was never a big fan of Bone Necro, so I'm either going to go summon or blood, that's for sure. And I hope the game isn't a disappointment like Diablo 3 was. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping it's a lot like, kind of like Lost Ark was. Hopefully it has, from what I've seen, it's like a Lost Ark and a PoE mixture with the Diablo feel. That's what it kind of looks like. So I'm hoping it's not going to be a big letdown. Also with this build, the quicker you blood warp on top of stuff, the quicker it dies. And it's probably like one of the best builds for killing bosses. There's not many builds I've seen kill bosses as quick as this does. Bam, dead. Pretty simple, great build, fun to play. Even if you don't have all the +1 slam items, it's still very strong. It's just maybe you won't clear as fast. That's about it. Other than that, it's a pretty easy setup to get for almost anybody. Hope you guys try out the build and hit that subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.